the Black Stone. This is a revered Islamic relic embedded in the eastern corner of the Kaaba, the sacred structure at the heart of the Grand Mosque, Masjid al-Haram, in Mecca. This stone holds immense religious significance in Islam, and it plays a central role in the rituals of the Hajj pilgrimage. The origins of the Black Stone are shrouded in mystery and religious lore. According to Islamic tradition, the stone was originally a white jewel sent down from heaven by God to guide Adam and Eve as they sought forgiveness for their sins after being expelled from paradise. Over time, the stone is said to have turned black due to the sins of humanity. The Black Stone has been revered since the pre-Islamic era, when the Kaaba served as a pilgrimage site for various tribes in the Arabian Peninsula. It was already considered sacred, and people believed it had a divine connection. When Prophet Muhammad established Islam, the significance of the Black Stone was reaffirmed, and it became an integral part of Islamic worship. The Black Stone is not a uniform piece, but rather a collection of fragments held together by a silver frame. It measures approximately 12 inches in diameter. Over the centuries, the stone has been damaged and fragmented, possibly due to various historical events, including theft and natural wear. Today, the stone's surface appears smooth due to the constant touching and kissing by pilgrims over the centuries, although its exact composition is a matter of speculation. Some believe it might be a meteorite, while others suggest it could be agate or basalt. The Black Stone is central to the ritual of tawaf, one of the most important rites of the Hajj pilgrimage. Tawaf involves circumambulating the Kaaba 7 times in a counterclockwise direction. Pilgrims strive to kiss or touch the Black Stone as they pass by it, emulating the actions of Prophet Muhammad, who is said to have kissed the stone during his final pilgrimage. The Black Stone has been carefully preserved and protected by the custodians of the Kaaba throughout Islamic history. During the 10th century, the stone was stolen by the Qarmatians, a rebellious sect, and returned 22 years later, broken into pieces. These fragments were later reassembled and bound in a silver frame. Today, the stone remains one of the most cherished relics in Islam, and its protection and preservation are of utmost importance. The Spear of Destiny. Also known as the Holy Lance, is a legendary Christian relic that is believed to be the spear that was used by a Roman soldier to pierce the side of Jesus Christ during his crucifixion. Over the centuries, the Spear of Destiny has been associated with mystical powers and has been the subject of numerous legends and controversies. The Spear of Destiny is rooted in the New Testament, specifically in the Gospel of John. According to the account, after Jesus was crucified, the Roman soldiers wanted to ensure that he was dead before removing his body from the cross. To confirm his death, a soldier, traditionally identified as Longinus, thrust a spear into Jesus' side, from which blood and water flowed. This act fulfilled a prophecy from the Old Testament, which stated that the Messiah's bones would not be broken. The soldier Longinus, who is credited with the act, is a significant figure in Christian tradition. According to legend, Longinus was a centurion who, after witnessing the miraculous events surrounding Jesus' death, such as the earthquake and the darkening of the sky, converted to Christianity. The spear, therefore, became a symbol of faith and redemption, representing both the sacrifice of Christ and the transformation of Longinus. The story of Longinus and the Holy Lance became popular in Christian art and literature, particularly during the medieval period. Throughout history, the Spear of Destiny has been linked to various rulers and empires, with many claiming to possess the true relic. These claims were often tied to the belief that whoever held the spear would hold the power to control the world. The most famous of these claims are associated with Constantine the Great, the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity. Constantine is sometimes said to have possessed the Holy Lance, which he used as a symbol of divine favor. This is likely more legend than fact, but it set the stage for the relic's significance in later centuries. It was also associated with Charlemagne, the Holy Roman Emperor, that is often said to have carried the Holy Lance into battle, believing it granted him victory. According to legend, Charlemagne carried the lance through 47 successful battles, but died when he accidentally dropped it. In the 20th century, this lance became linked to Adolf Hitler. According to some reports, Hitler was obsessed with the Spear of Destiny and believed it would grant him the power to conquer the world. In 1938, after the annexation of Austria, the Nazis seized the Holy Lance and took it to Nuremberg, where it was kept until the end of World War II. After the war, the lance was returned to Vienna by American forces. The Spear of Destiny has been the subject of numerous legends and mystical beliefs throughout history, inspiring countless books, films, and other media. The Cintamani Stone. This is a mythical gemstone in various Eastern traditions, particularly in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Tibetan mythology. It is often compared to the Philosopher's Stone in Western alchemy due to its reputed miraculous powers. The Cintamani is believed to be a wish-fulfilling stone that grants its possessor whatever they desire. It is often depicted as a glowing, radiant stone, symbolizing enlightenment, spiritual power, and material abundance. In Hindu texts, it is associated with the gods Vishnu and Shiva, as well as with the Nagas, who are said to guard it. The Cintamani is also revered as a sacred object that represents the teachings of the Buddha, and it is often associated with the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. In Tibetan Buddhism, the stone is believed to be one of the 4 relics that fell from the sky, and it is linked to the idea of ultimate spiritual fulfillment. In some accounts, the Cintamani is said to have been brought to Earth by celestial beings, and it is sometimes connected with extraterrestrial or otherworldly origins. These stories often place the stone in the context of ancient and lost civilizations, where it was revered as a divine object. The Cintamani is said to have the power to manifest desires, bring prosperity, heal illness, and provide protection. It is also associated with the ability to bring about spiritual enlightenment and is considered a key to achieving nirvana. The Philosopher's Stone. This is one of the most famous symbols in Western alchemy, often depicted as a substance or object capable of transmuting base metals into gold. Beyond its material properties, the Philosopher's Stone is also associated with the pursuit of immortality, spiritual enlightenment, and the ultimate understanding of the universe. The origins of the Philosopher's Stone can be traced back to the early practices of alchemy in ancient Egypt, Greece, and the Islamic world. Alchemy was a proto-scientific and spiritual discipline that sought to transform and purify matter, leading to the perfection of both material substances and the soul. In Egypt, the god Thoth, known as Hermes Trismegistus in the Hellenistic period, was believed to have authored texts on alchemical knowledge. These texts, collectively known as the Hermetic Corpus, laid the groundwork for the alchemical tradition in the West. During the Middle Ages, alchemy flourished in the Islamic world and later spread to Europe. By the time alchemy reached Europe, the Philosopher's Stone had become central to the alchemist's quest. The stone was not merely a physical object but also a symbol of ultimate knowledge and spiritual perfection. Alchemists believed that through the discovery of the Philosopher's Stone, they could achieve the magnum opus, the great work, which involved the purification and transformation of the soul, leading to spiritual enlightenment and immortality. The creation of the Philosopher's Stone was said to be the result of a complex and secretive alchemical process. This process was often described in symbolic and allegorical language, making it difficult to interpret. The stages of the magnum opus typically included negredo, blackening, the initial stage of the process, representing the death or dissolution of the base materials. It symbolizes the breaking down of the ego and the beginning of spiritual transformation. Albedo, whitening, the purification stage, where the material is cleansed and purified, symbolizing spiritual enlightenment and the emergence of the true self. Citrinitas, the stage where the material begins to transform, often associated with the dawning of spiritual knowledge and the awakening of the soul. And rubedo, the final stage, where the Philosopher's Stone is created. This stage represents the achievement of the great work, the culmination of the alchemist's spiritual journey, and the union of the soul with the divine. These stages were often depicted in alchemical texts and art, filled with complex symbols, cryptic language, and mystical imagery. The color changes associated with these stages were also seen as reflections of the inner transformation of the alchemist's soul. The Philosopher's Stone has captured the imagination of writers, artists, and philosophers for centuries and became a central symbol in Western esotericism and the occult, representing the ultimate goal of spiritual and material transformation. The stone has appeared in numerous literary works, from medieval alchemical texts to modern fantasy novels. It plays a significant role in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Whether seen as a literal substance or a metaphor for spiritual transformation, it represents the quest for ultimate knowledge, power, and immortality, the Ark of the Covenant. This is a sacred and highly revered artifact in Judeo-Christian tradition, described in the Bible as a gold-covered wooden chest that held the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments given to Moses by God on Mount Sinai. According to the Book of Exodus, the Ark also contained Aaron's rod and a pot of manna. The Ark was considered the physical manifestation of God's presence and power among the Israelites. It was carried by the Levites during their 40-year journey through the desert and played a central role in various events, such as the crossing of the Jordan River and the fall of Jericho. The Ark was housed in the Holy of Holies, the innermost and most sacred area of the tabernacle, and later in the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. Its ultimate fate is a mystery, as it disappeared from historical records after the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem in 586 BCE. Over the centuries, the Ark has been the subject of much speculation, with various theories suggesting its whereabouts, but its location remains unknown. The Ark of the Covenant continues to be a powerful symbol of divine presence and religious mystery. Excalibur. This is the legendary sword of King Arthur, one of the most iconic symbols in Arthurian legend. It is often depicted as a magical weapon of immense power and a symbol of rightful sovereignty. According to different versions of the legend, Excalibur is either the sword Arthur pulled from the stone, proving his right to the throne of Britain, or it is a separate sword given to him by the Lady of the Lake. The sword is associated with mystical properties, including an unbreakable blade and the ability to blind enemies with its light. Excalibur is also linked to Arthur's eventual death in many stories. Arthur orders Sir Bedivere to return the sword to the Lady of the Lake after his final battle. When Bedivere finally throws the sword into the lake, a hand rises from the water to catch it, signifying the sword's return to its supernatural origins. Excalibur represents the divine right of kings, heroism, and the mystical elements of Arthurian legend. The Holy Grail. This is a legendary and multifaceted symbol with deep roots in both Christian tradition and Arthurian legend. Traditionally thought to be the cup used by Jesus at the Last Supper, and later used by Joseph of Arimathea to collect Christ's blood during the crucifixion, it represents divine grace and spiritual purity. While in Arthurian tales, particularly in works like Vulgate Cycle, the Grail is sought after by King Arthur's knights, symbolizing their quest for spiritual enlightenment and divine favor. The Grail is depicted as having miraculous powers, such as healing and providing eternal life. The Grail has been represented in various forms, from a chalice to a symbol of mystical knowledge. It remains a powerful motif in literature, art, and modern media, reflecting the pursuit of higher truths and spiritual fulfillment. In essence, the Holy Grail is both a revered relic and a profound symbol of the search for ultimate wisdom and divine grace. The Book of Thoth. This is a significant text in the context of ancient Egyptian magic and esotericism. It's closely associated with the deity Thoth, the ancient Egyptian god of wisdom, writing, and magic. The text is considered a key source for understanding ancient Egyptian esoteric knowledge, though it is often discussed in terms of its influence rather than as a single, coherent work. Thoth is a major deity in the Egyptian pantheon, often depicted as an ibis-headed figure or sometimes as a baboon. He is associated with writing, knowledge, and the maintenance of cosmic order. Thoth was believed to have recorded the events of the cosmos and to be the author of many magical and mystical texts. According to Egyptian mythology, Thoth played a crucial role in the creation of the world, the recording of the laws of the universe, and the guidance of souls in the afterlife. The text covers magical practices, rituals, and the use of symbols and words of power. It emphasizes the importance of wisdom and knowledge in mastering these practices. The Book of Thoth also deals with concepts of cosmic order and the divine laws governing the universe. It reflects Thoth's role as a mediator between the divine and the mortal realms. The Book of Thoth has also been reinterpreted and popularized in modern times, especially by occultists and scholars of esoteric traditions. Aleister Crowley's tarot deck and accompanying book, The Book of Thoth, are perhaps the most well-known modern adaptations, linking the ancient wisdom of Thoth with contemporary magical practices. The Book of Thoth has influenced various esoteric traditions, contributing to the understanding of ancient Egyptian magic and mysticism. It has inspired numerous works on magic, divination, and spiritual wisdom. The text's teachings continue to be a source of fascination for those interested in the symbolic and mystical aspects of ancient Egypt. It represents a bridge between ancient knowledge and modern esoteric practices.